Welcome back to the Daily Brief, your number one source for news updates in Southeast Asia. First up, Vancouver mourns after SUV attack at Filipino festival leaves 11 dead. Next, devotees flock to pay their respects at Pope Francis' tomb. And in our last story, twin earthquakes rattle Cagayan early Monday. Here is a look at today's local exchange rates for the Philippines and Thailand, followed by the weather. Vancouver, Canada. A heartbreaking tragedy struck Vancouver when a car plowed into a Filipino street festival, killing 11 people and injuring many more. Authorities revealed that the 30-year-old driver, who had a known history of mental health struggles, intentionally drove his black Audi SUV into a crowd attending the Lapu Lapu Festival in the Sunset on Fraser area. The deadly incident unfolded on the evening of April 26, 2025, just one day before Canadians were set to vote in a tense national election. While the attack initially raised fears of terrorism, Vancouver police confirmed it was not terror-related and appeared to be an isolated act. Suspects' troubled history and deliberate actions. At a press conference, Vancouver Police Chief Steve Rye announced that the suspect had frequent past encounters with both law enforcement and mental health services. Though the motive remains unclear, police believe the act was deliberate. Chief Rye also warned that the death toll could climb, as several of the injured remain in critical condition. Describing the devastation, Vancouver police called it the darkest day in our city's history, a sentiment echoed across the country. A celebration shattered. The attack happened during the Lapu Lapu Festival, an event honoring a Filipino hero who stood against Spanish colonization in the 16th century. What was supposed to be a joyful day filled with a parade, music, dance performances, and even a concert featuring members of the Black Eyed Peas, ended in chaos. Eyewitnesses shared harrowing stories from the scene. Festival security guard Jen Idaba Castanito said she felt overwhelmed by the sheer number of people needing help. "You don't know who to help here or there," she said, her voice filled with emotion. Another witness, Dale Celepi, described seeing a woman lying helpless on the ground, her leg visibly broken, as people tried to comfort her. Leaders respond with grief. The attack triggered an outpouring of sympathy from leaders both in Canada and abroad. Prime Minister Mark Carney, fighting back tears during a national address, said, "Last night, families lost a sister, a brother, a mother, a father, a son, or a daughter. Those families are living every family's nightmare." Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre called the incident horrific, while Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said he was completely shattered by the tragedy. Even Britain's King Charles III, Canada's ceremonial head of state, shared his sorrow, expressing that he was profoundly saddened by the devastating news. Echoes of past violence. The shocking attack stirred memories of the 2018 Toronto van attack, where a man intentionally ran over pedestrians, resulting in 11 deaths. Canadians, like Ottawa resident Julie Dunbar, voiced their fears about the unpredictable nature of such acts. "I fear for the society we live in that these things can happen," said Dunbar, 72, during a morning jog. What lies ahead? The suspect was arrested without incident and is now in custody. Investigators are working to better understand his mental health background and what may have triggered the rampage. In the meantime, authorities are expected to increase security at public gatherings, especially with the election and political tensions surrounding U.S.-Canada relations adding to an already uneasy atmosphere. As the city of Vancouver and the wider nation mourn, the Filipino-Canadian community begins a painful journey toward healing, trying to find strength in the face of unimaginable loss. The faithful from around the world gathered in solemn devotion on Sunday as the tomb of Pope Francis at Rome's Basilica of St. Mary Major was officially opened to the public. Following his funeral mass and burial, mourners came to pay their final respects to a pontiff who left a profound impact on the Catholic Church and beyond. As Vicky Morales reported on 24 Horas Weekend, the Novem Dials, a traditional 9-day period of mourning and prayer, continues for Pope Francis, with countless pilgrims participating in masses and prayer services held in his honor. Pope Francis' final journey began with a deeply moving scene at St. Peter's Basilica. His coffin was carried out into St. Peter's Square amidst an outpouring of emotion. The crowd erupted into applause and spontaneous singing, a final, heartfelt tribute to a man who championed compassion, humility, and the dignity of every human being throughout his papacy. The simple yet powerful moment resonated around the world, symbolizing the immense love and gratitude millions. The funeral mass was presided over by Italian Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, the Dean of the College of Cardinals. With thousands of mourners gathered under the solemn grandeur of St. Peter's Square, Cardinal Re led the rites with reverence, offering prayers for the repose of Pope Francis. The Mass included readings, hymns, and a final blessing, after which the Pope's coffin was transported to its final resting place at the Basilica of St. Mary Major, a location deeply significant to Pope Francis, known for his devotion to the Virgin Mary. The Basilica of St. Mary Major holds special meaning in Catholic tradition and for Pope Francis personally. Throughout his papacy, he made frequent visits to the Basilica, often praying there before and after important trips abroad. Choosing this sacred site as his burial place reflects his profound Marian devotion and his humble approach to faith and leadership. Now open to the public, the Pope's tomb has become a new pilgrimage site, drawing Catholics and admirers from all walks of life. Visitors can be seen lighting candles, kneeling in prayer, and leaving flowers and handwritten notes expressing their love and admiration. As the Novem Dies continues, churches worldwide are holding masses and prayer vigils in memory of Pope Francis. His death marks the end of an era defined by outreach to the. Messages of condolence continue to pour in from global leaders, religious figures, and ordinary people alike, highlighting the breadth of his influence and the depth of the sorrow felt at his passing. Pope Francis' legacy of compassion, simplicity, and social justice is sure to endure for generations to come. As the faithful gather around his tomb, they not only mourn his passing but also celebrate a life lived in steadfast service to God and to humanity. Cagayan, Philippines. Residents of Calayan and nearby areas were jolted awake early Monday morning after two successive earthquakes struck off the coast of Dalupuray Island, according to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, PHIVOLCS. The first tremor, recorded at 12:54 a.m., had a magnitude of 5.5 and was classified as tectonic in origin, meaning it was caused by the shifting of the Earth's plates rather than volcanic activity. The epicenter was pinpointed at 19.20 degrees north, 121.13 degrees east, approximately 13 kilometers north-northwest of Dalupuray Island in the municipality of Calayan. The earthquake originated at a shallow depth of just 15 kilometers beneath the Earth's surface, which typically results in stronger ground shaking. PHIVOLCS reported that Intensity 5 shaking was felt on Calayan Island itself. According to the agency's intensity scale, Intensity 5 shaking is described as strong and would have been noticeable to most people indoors and outdoors. Objects may have been displaced, and hanging items would likely have swung significantly. Meanwhile, Intensity 3, categorized as weak, was experienced across several towns and cities in Ilocos Norte, including Pagudpud, Pasican, Bacara, Lawag City, and San Nicolas. Residents in these areas might have felt a light shaking, with some minor rattling of windows and doors. Fortunately, no significant damage has been reported so far, according to PHIVOLCS. However, the agency warned that aftershocks could occur in the coming hours or days. Aftershocks are common following moderate to strong earthquakes, although they are usually less intense than the main shock. Local authorities have advised residents to stay alert, inspect their homes and structures for any unnoticed damage, and prepare emergency kits in case of stronger aftershocks. Monday's earthquakes serve as a reminder of the Philippines' vulnerability to seismic events. The country sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an area of high seismic and volcanic activity where numerous earthquakes occur every year. PHIVOLCS continues to monitor the situation closely and urges the public to rely on official updates and advisories to avoid misinformation. Thank you for watching the Daily Brief. If you enjoyed this video, please share and subscribe so you won't miss out on any future updates. Please take care and we